Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Right. Let's see. I might need to pop on this light here a little bit. See how that does on the camera. Not too bad. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I've been moving around. I went to had a thing to go to this morning after an errand, so I've been kind of running, and I kind of just wanted to settle down for a moment and do a reading before I got into all the other crap that I have to do today. Right? I even took a picture of myself earlier, like, resting bitch face. Today's RBF. Could be rich bitch face too. I don't know, where you all spend your money on, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully it's something good. Something that gives you a return on the investment, you know what I mean? That's what I like to do personally. Get a nice return on my investment. Therefore, I don't invest in things that don't invest in me back. Some people don't like that when you start choosing yourself, and they're like, well, what about me? What about me? It's like, yeah, you didn't give a shit about me when I was in trouble. You didn't even give a shit about me when I wasn't in trouble. You didn't give a shit about me, period. You know what I mean? Like my existence, period. So now it's, it's karma time for some people, okay? To start feeling what that actually means, okay? So, it's a lot of finding out season, for folks. But that doesn't mean your karma. That means that they may be experiencing karma. You do not have to hold your hand through karma. Okay. You might even be the process server named karma. But what does the process server do? They hand them the paperwork, and then the process server goes home because they already got paid for delivering the message. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, thanks for joining today. Let's go ahead and get some of these conversation cards going since I did not use those the last time. See if we can get some fun stuff in on this kind of gloomy day where I'm at. Which, kind of a good day for a funeral, right? It's a gloomy day. If you had to pick one. So, but it was a nice service, so I was happy that I was able to attend. La 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 la. You look like my lesbian neighbor. Oh, well, thank you very much. Horn says hello. Eric says hello. Is that pickles or pickles? Because if you say the word pickle, it's L-E. So, does your lesbian neighbor say I love you? Maybe. Funny story. One of my, my boyfriend, like high school, and when we graduated and I went to college, and when I lived in the dorms, I had a female roommate. They don't, we had there were different floors, like there was a boys floor and a girls floor, but they don't like put boy and girl roommates together. They put girl roommates together. And so you get to know your roommate pretty well. And like I visited her family and she visited mine. Like we're still good friends to this day, really. And and I'm friends with her husband, whatever. Anyway, my boyfriend at the time was like, "Are you guys gay?" Because we were like friends hanging out, and like she came to like hang out, you know what I mean, with us. So no, she hates me. Well, I wonder why that is. Anyway, so yeah, he was like, "Are you guys gay?" I'm like, she's my roommate. You know what I mean? People that have that just kind of like, it's like maybe you need to pray on that before you start like opening your mouth to speak to people because the stuff you say sounds really dumb. We do have the ability to think before we speak. Yes, it's possible. Can we get away together? Yeah, obviously somebody thinking, right? Before they're speaking, then they're wondering where they could possibly go with you. This is actually in one of my dating things. It's like, what's your, what's like a vacation destination? You know what I mean? So like if you're somebody who like you have to have the mountains and skiing and hiking, and maybe somebody is like, I like the beach, I like to lay around, you know what I mean? Like you might have some different styles. Maybe you're compatible, maybe you're not. You know what I mean? But so, can we get away together? That's what this person is wondering. If you two are together alone, not around a bunch of other people, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be like you're on this dream vacation? I just date around. Yeah, whoever this is doesn't know what they want. Yeah, they're not serious. So if this is the person who's saying, can we get away? You might want to think twice about that. I mean, I've had guys been like, oh, I'll fly you here, I'll fly you there, we'll do this, we'll do that. Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of things and nothing ever comes to fruition, right? Because they're not serious. They just want to romp in the hay. They just want, you to pull on their third leg, right? Okay. I mean, this is what it's about. Don't fool yourself. Fooling yourself if you don't believe it, right? Killing yourself if you don't believe it. Get back on your feet. You're the one they can't beat, and you know it. Oh, let's see what you got. Take your best shot now, don't blow it. Oh, isn't that Sticks? Anyway, I don't owe you any explanations. Yeah, so this person could be like, can we get away together? And you can be like, no, I'm kind of busy. And they're like, well, how come? You can be like, I don't owe you any explanations because we're not in a relationship. And I'm probably not going to be in a relationship with somebody who wants to date other people. So, nope. I like Melissa Etheridge. I do sing on this channel sometimes, and I do have a separate music channel called Ophelia's Band. However, today at the service, we were singing some hymns, so my voices started to warm up today. So, guys will say anything to get laid. Yeah, a lot of guys will. I'm not going to say 100%, but, they don't have to like you. They don't have to love you. They don't have to even think you're attractive. They could literally despise you, and they will still say whatever to try and sleep with you. And then they'll be like, yeah, can I have $20? And then they'll try and put you down afterwards. They can be trash. I mean, women do it too, to try and like hook somebody, right, onto the sex, right? And then, people get all wrapped up in the sex, like, but there's no like love there, right? Yeah. Starseed. Yeah, the starseeds are not just hooking up to get up. You know what I'm saying? If the starseed got up, they probably already took care of it this morning. Thank you very much. Like, he's not out there trolling on Tinder and Reddit and whatever for somebody to give him a handy at the parking garage at 3 p.m. today. Okay? Yeah, starseeds don't do that stuff. Okay. If you did do that stuff, now you're reformed, maybe now you are a starseed. But if you doing that now, it's probably low-end toxic behavior. I sound exactly like her. Well, maybe we need to get together, right? I can assure you we are not the same person. Is your neighbor a starseed? Maybe. Starseed can also be like light worker, empath, Indigo Child is a popular one as well. Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely different. There it is. My carnelian stone. I'm like, where did it go? This is a sign, guys. I'm going to have to do a chakra reading because the carnelian stone came out. This is for your sacral, okay? This is where like that sexual, that passion energy comes from, okay? Your root is more like your safety, your food, your clothing, your shelter. Your sacral is like, maybe we can do a little. But some people get a little too wrapped up in that and they don't do anything else, quite frankly. And as I've said before, it takes no talent to lay on your back. None. So learn a skill. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not getting paid for all this handiwork, ladies. I mean, really. Come on. What are you doing it for? Surprise! Somebody wants to surprise you with a message. Could it be from your crush? Could it be from somebody who wants to get away with you together? Could it be from somebody who sees you as a starseed and appreciates that? Yes. Okay. Maybe currently you're just dating around. You're not like, you know what I mean? Like you go on a date here and there, but like you're not trying to enter into any relationships. Okay. All right. And if that's the case as well, you don't really owe anybody that explanation. You could say, I'm dating right now. You know what I mean? And if you're not dating them, oh well, who cares, right? They'll get the picture. They'll get the message. It's very simple, right? I know, it's so simple. I have been hit on by lesbians before, so I'm not going to say I've never dated a woman before. I mean, I have gone out with women before, but I've never been in a relationship. I'm going to send a message to a girl I met the other day and see if she wants to meet me in the parking garage. I would not do that if I were you. She might report you. You know what I mean? Anyway, bell. Yeah, ringing the bell on that. Right? Done. Honestly, the people that are on Reddit that talk about meeting in the parking lots and stuff, I think they're looking for like sex workers. Okay. And a lot of them are like male hookups as well. So if you're into that, I mean, then maybe you'll find what you're looking for there. Usually it's not the women that are doing that, because we like to stay alive. Just another day, isn't it? Minding your own business. Well, it is Monday. It's time to mind that money. Did anybody spend too much over the weekend? Right? You do one of those, or like, oh my God, I bought like this amount of sweaters. Like maybe you needed them. Okay. But sometimes you're like, whew, don't forget to, especially as you come up on the end of the year, any outstanding bills, any outstanding, yeah, you're going to have to get silenced here because this isn't your channel. It's mine. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, minding your business and minding your money and not wasting it on stupid people or stupid ideas like meeting strange men in parking lots and parking garages, because that would be incredibly stupid. I saw him or her with an ex. Okay. So yeah, if this person's just dating around, they could be like back dating their ex. I mean, some people do that. Especially when people have kids and stuff, you know what I mean? It's like you're always like, oh, are they gonna get back with their ex-husband, their ex-wife, blah blah, because the kids, you know what I mean? They always say like, oh no, I hate them, and it's like people get around their kids and then the rest of the family, then all of a sudden they slip into these old patterns. Okay. So if you are seeing this person, okay, who you may have some relations with or in some way, and you're seeing this right now, you better be crystal clear, because otherwise you're just going to be wasting your time. Okay. And some people, unfortunately, what they do with this is like they'll try out a new person to make the old person jealous. And maybe you could be the new person that they're trotting out to make the old person jealous. And we call that triangulation. Okay. I know it's a big word for some people, but we do have dictionaries. Some people actually read books versus burning them. Or banning them, right? Take a look, it's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. And a lot of books will tell you if they're busy dating somebody else, right? Like that book, He's Just Not Into You. If there was somebody else, he ain't into you, honey. It's okay. Just move on. Somebody else will be. I mean, even if you don't want the next person, you'll find somebody that's into you. Trust me. It will happen. Okay. It just may not be the one that you were wanting at the time, right? But there will always be another one to annoy you. Bugaboo style, where it's like, ugh. You know what I mean? And we're always like, oh, I want love, I want love, I want love. And then somebody shows up and they're all like really loving, and you're like, ugh, right? So at this time, I feel like a lot of you are just minding your own business. You're like, look, I don't want any part of that. And to be honest, sometimes a lot of that love is self-serving because it is highly revolving around the genitals region and nothing else. Okay. And the hip kids, they call that a thought. Okay. And when the thought's gone, it's gone. It's like trying to recycle a used tissue. It just doesn't work. You just throw it away. You just throw it away. That's it. Just like when they do it in their underwear in their sleep. It's the same thing. Oops, it's gone. Done. Bye. He or she doesn't mean anything to me now. So you may have seen them out with this person. Again, this could be like one of those things where they're like, oh, I'm going to trot them out in front of so-and-so and make them all jealous. La, 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 la. And then what are they going to say when, well, and you could be like, well, I saw you with so-and-so. I thought maybe you were having a good time together, right? They're like, well, they don't mean anything to me now. Of course not, now that you're in front of their face and they see how desperately they effed up everything, right? Well, maybe they can figure out what does mean something to them in their life, right? Because right now it's looking pretty shallow, folks. And I think that's why, it's also Monday. The stock market's open, right? The bell's going to ring at 3 p.m. Minding your business. Because you know what? This is always going to work for you. You're always going to work for you in hitting that bell, right? These people that are just like, the Meredith Grays of the, I don't know, I'm just, that. You want that for the rest of your life? I don't. Sorry, Meredith. Figure it the hell out. You're supposed to be a smart doctor by now, right? She's like, oh, well, I don't know if I like Dreamy or McSteamy. Both of them aren't loyal and they're cheating on their wives with me. It's like, you're not a heroine. You sound like a dumb slut. Again, takes no talent to lay on your back. So like, why is she even worried about it? You know what I mean? Like, if that's all it is a lay, why is she even worried about who did? Well, then she slept with George too, her roommate, and everybody, I know everybody goes to college or has, some of these, not everybody, has some of these wild experiences or whatever, but I'm just using the Meredith Grey as an example, because like, you would think that she has some morals, and I know it's a soap opera, but the standard that she sets for herself is just so poor. To me, it's a turnoff, and maybe that's why she gets losers that don't ever want to stick with her. You know what I mean? I don't know, whatever season they're in now, maybe she finally found somebody, but after like season 3, I was like over it. You know what I mean? Family could be very important to you. Family time coming up, right? That's another thing, Meredith Grey. Like when she couldn't figure out like what was going to inspire her to become a brilliant doctor and blah blah. And her mother's like, I have Alzheimer's. How about using that for some inspiration, Meredith? You know what I mean? It's kind of funny, like how she's yelling at obviously kind of shows you what kind of relationship they have as well within your family. Sometimes those family relations can be a little tense, right? A little tense. But, when people are just very self-serving about themselves, it's like, well, what do they expect? Right? One of my relatives, neither one of his sons came to his funeral. But he was a very self-serving individual while he was alive. So do I blame those people for not showing up? You know what I mean? Whatever, right? It's kind of just another day for them, right? The rest of the family was there. They could have come and said hello, but whatever. Somebody's saying from Costa Rica, pura vida. I would love to visit Costa Rica. One of my cousins, a couple people I know have been down there. One of my cousins specifically, I think she took her whole family down there. Forgiveness, forgive. Okay, this is really interesting, especially because I was at this church service earlier. Forgiveness is a big thing that they preach in the church. And, a lot of people think of it as forgiving the person who wronged you. But really what it is about is letting yourself have forgiveness over any guilt, any pain, any thing that you're hanging on to, especially if you were the person that was wronged in the situation. You need to forgive yourself so you can stop doing this tape of what could I have done different? What if I did this? Well, but you didn't. And neither did they for that matter, right? Somebody that is accused of, killing or murdering or raping somebody else. I mean, they did that deed, right? Forgiveness is after the fact. Oh, if I moved this way, maybe he wouldn't have been able to stab me. Or if I moved this way, well, or maybe they're just a determined asshole, right? And you'd be like, that person doesn't deserve any forgiveness. But what you are going to forgive is yourself for letting them live rent-free in your head ever. Because they are not worth your time. That's what forgiveness is about. It's about giving yourself back time for you, not for them. It's for giving you the time back in your life to do whatever the hell you want. Hopefully not seeking revenge on these people, right? Some do, but, karma is its own revenge. But But don't sit around waiting for karma. I'm just saying, because that can make you into a very old and bitter person if you let it. Okay. So forgive yourself for any expectations you have around these kind of situations. Okay. Voila. Costa Rica has coastlines on both sides, right? Both the Pacific and Atlantic? Or is that considered the Gulf side yet? I don't know. Jennifer says, I can be very jealous and possessive. This person is saying, maybe that's this person that's saying, can we get away together? Okay. Because they want to like have you not, they don't want to have you around like a big group of people. They don't want, you know what I mean? It's just, they want like one-on-one time. Okay. But right now I feel like for a lot of you, you're focused on the finish line, your mind and your money. Some of this you could be getting downloads specific to this about what's going to drive your career, drive your success, drive your passion in life. Okay. This starseed energy that I'm picking up here. Hang on a second, folks. I have not gotten a flu shot yet this. Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't know. Because when I was in the hospital, they stabbed my arm with something. And of course, they don't never tell you what it is. They're just like, it's like, excuse me. I'd like to know what you're fucking sticking in my arm. Crazy psychos. Anyway. Well, I mean, one of the doctors, they prescribed to me epilepsy medicine. I've never been diagnosed epileptic in my entire life. And it raised my blood pressure. It raised my systolic or whatever, the top number, like by 20 points, 20 to 30 points. That's significant. What kind of doctor does that? A crazy psycho one that doesn't care about your health. So get a second opinion. Okay. Not everybody has the best of intentions for you, not even doctors. Okay. Yeah. Go fish. So it could be this kind of simple, like, especially if you're feeling the pressure, like, no is a complete sentence, right? Like when I was traveling for work for a funeral, like they literally should legally have not been able to contact me, but my boss was texting me anyway. I should have just left it on, not even opened it, or just said, go fish. Right? Because really, figure it out. Become an adult. Figure it out. Teach a man to fish for themselves, right? You don't always just feed them. Spoon feeding these people. Spoon feeding them. Spoon feeding them. Why do I have to spoon feed my fucking boss while I'm away for a funeral? What a bitch. Go fish. Have somebody else hold your hand, right? Yeah, I'm having fun with this reading today. No winner. Whoever this is, you're going to be hitting the closing bell on them, literally like the stock market. Like, or, I don't know, for those less sophisticated, like, one of those Don King fights in the 80s where they ring the frickin' bell when they're knocked the F out. Because they're done. It's over. They lost. Bye. You're done. Okay. And if you know anything about John King in the 80s and how he promoted people, you know, a lot of, you know, those type of, they can be very exploitive, right, to the talent. You know, a lot of times these people are just getting in the ring just to literally get knocked out in the first punch because, you know, they're the fall guy, right? You ever see Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis's character, where he refuses to take the fall and then they come after him. And then he ends up having to wreck her little Honda. He says, baby, I had to wreck that Honda. Mm-hmm. And they had to leave on the chopper, didn't they? So technically there was no winner of that fight type, you know what I mean? Like, not the way they wanted to, right? But he won something for himself. Just like in Rocky IV, when the Russian decides, I fight for me. Right? They're like, you fight for us. You fight for Russia. What was the USSR, Soviet Union at the time? They're like, you fight for the proletariat. You fight for, so we can show them. Right? And then he's like, man, this Rocky, Jesus, where's he getting this? You know what I mean? Huh? This Rocky dude's got some heart. And then the Russians be like, I need heart. Right? He's like, yeah! He lifts that son of a bitch. He throws him over onto the table. And, ah! And then they'll cry, right? There's a lot of people waking up right now realizing I'm fishing for myself now. If you get some of it, I guess you're lucky. But don't go be coming over here expecting it, right? Now, does the big Russian forgive his kind of oppressors there when they put him up against the American? You know what I mean? Kiss my grits. Y'all, that message was coming through yesterday, and then look at what I pull. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Kiss it. Yeah, they'll be lining up to kiss your crazy ass, won't they? Saying, help me. Oh, I'm sorry. You thought I was too weak to even benefit to be standing next to you. You thought I was such an ingrate, you wouldn't even say hello to me in public in the street, would you? And you know what's crazy? You want to support your felonious people? Go right ahead. Because we're all sold up on crazy over here, aren't we? Moving on. Let's get into this lover's oracle, shall we? Boy, I don't know if it's a fit of the Mondays or was that service or what, you know. Well, I will mention, though, that the person whose service I went to, they were highly involved in Scouts, in mentoring Scouts, both the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, because they had kids in those organizations growing up over the years. And I thought that was very nice because the Scouts is still something in the United States, which I think now they just call it like Scouting or Scouts of America and make it more like a family thing. It's not necessarily separated, you know, boys and girls, because sometimes, you know, boys' moms are there and not necessarily dads, or girl dads are there and not moms. And you know what I mean? For today's modern family, so people don't feel excluded, especially not the children, because it's for the children, right? Not for the adults. It's for the children. So I thought that was very nice. And they had some fundraising there. You could make memorials to one of the local scouting chapters. So I thought that was very nice. A lot of people, they're just looking for money for themselves, after those things. So, it's nice to see somebody actually paying it forward out of a grief situation, Anyway, now some people will look at you and say, well, you're crazy to give your money to anything like that, blah, 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 right? Maybe. But it's not their money, is it? It's your money. And you get to do whatever the hell you want with it. As long as it's legal. I mean, well, it kind of depends on who you are in society, right? Some people get away with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Don't they? The way I have treated you was wrong. Well, I mean, you'll have that in life sometimes, won't you? Yeah, and whoever this person is, again, they're coming around now with all this stuff. You'd be like, okay, go fish, right? Whoop, back into the pond with you. Okay. Some people don't know they're piranhas until you tell them, hey, you're a piranha. You didn't know that? And they're like, oh. Arrogance is coming through like big time. Like stinky arrogance. Yeah, like pigpen style arrogance. I am better with my mind than my heart. This person saying here. I mean, I guess it depends on their actions. You know what I mean? You could say, well, to be honest, your mind makes pretty shitty decisions too. So, especially if they're not minding the business that pays them, especially if they're ending up broke over some of this stuff. It's like, well, that's not really thinking with a clear head now, is it? So, some people, they just want to vibrate low, and they will continue to vibrate low until they are no longer on this earth. That's their choice. That's their path. That is their karma that they are walking now. You do not have to walk it with them. You do not have to hold their hand. You have already learned these lessons, right? I can't come to, no, they can't, because they're experiencing the karma that they've created. And, you are too nice. I don't deserve your kindness. Yeah. For a lot of you, it's just this kind of philandering type Jezebel spirit, where it's like, okay, you might have given somebody a chance, you know what I mean? And then when they showed their colors, you're like, oh my God, I was either reading this wrong or I was reading this wrong, right? And, if there's no winner in the situation, then why keep, right? And if somebody else is so happy to win, let them go and win and celebrate and be happy, right? They don't need you. They don't need me, right? That's the thing that I always like about some of these things, especially people that have severely criticized me, made fun of me, whatever, spoke about me in public or not in public or whatever, and how they've treated me. And then they want to come around and like start acting nice, like we were ever friends, like ever. It's like, no, we actually weren't really ever friends. Like, you never even laid a hand of respect on my name. This love is crazy. Yeah. Especially people that can't handle it. I mean, yeah. And what do we have here? Crazy. My advice to you, don't look for a crazy love. Because somebody with that mentality, I don't think they'll be able to really get through the rest of it. If everything's just, oh, this is just crazy. Oh, it's just crazy. Oh, everything's just crazy. You know, it's like some people saying, well, you don't really have a choice. They're both bad. Well, that's their opinion. You have to do what's best for you. Do you want up and down roller coaster every week at something else, and then you have to worry about who they're messaging, who they're doing this with, who they're not doing this with, blah, 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 blah. You ever see Charlie Brown? Whatever, right? Obviously, I'm not doing that voice very well. But yeah, anything that's not making sense, it comes through like that. So do you want stuff that doesn't make sense, or do you want something that, yeah, I am better with my mind, something that makes sense? Yeah. Because let me tell you, a lot of these fools, they don't make any sense at all. And literally, like, no sense, like nothing, no, they don't even have two little nickels or dimes to rub together. They might have two little tiny pubic hairs to rub together, but they have no money. None. None. And they're not able to manifest any either. Yeah, none. All right, let's get into the tarot. Go ahead and get a little chakra spread out here. Kind of reminds me of like those stories when some of those IT programmers, like, they end up getting let go or whatever, and then they take all the code with them, you know. Oh, you wanted that documented? You know what I mean? And then they be calling them up. Oh, oh, now you need something. But when we told you we needed another server to add to, you know, to help with the processing. When we told you we needed another system admin because I can't come in and work 24 hours a day on call and then work my regular shift too. When I told you, right? But, now they're, well, yeah, have an orgasm about it and then go figure out how to hire somebody, okay? Because these people are done. They ain't coming back. They're not coming back. Nope. No, they not. You know. Look at y'all. Minding that business, minding that money, getting that 10 of frickin' pentacles. Hello. Hello. And this is in your root and your base. I mean, so talk about food, clothing, shelter. You're going to have enough, right? The 10 of Pentacles is like the best that you can get. So, you're going to have that roof over your head. You're going to have clothes on your back. You're going to have, food in the icebox, right? And not only for you, but whoever is in your home, right? Maybe it's your pets, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's, your in-laws or your parents or something, right? Maybe you live a little bit with some extended family, right? And as long as everybody's, contributing to that abundance, we can all be abundant together, right? So some of these people may, especially if they don't have a roof over their head, they don't have clothes on their back, they might be coming to you and say, oh, well, the way I treated you was wrong. And now I want to come here and sponge off of you. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't even have to open the door for these people. No, you do not. I mean, you could move and not even give your forwarding address. I mean, it's possible. Just saying. Not everyone deserves your time. So, it's up to you to ring that bell for the buzzer to go off. You know what I mean? It's like when your boss wants to, monopolize your time, put all these meetings on your calendar, and they don't really leave you much time to do your own work. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to have to reclaim my time, sir. Like they do in Congress, like, I'm going to be reclaiming my time now, Senator. And do you notice when they reclaim their time, they don't even always say anything. They just do it just to prove the point that is their time. Doesn't mean you're not thinking. Oh my God, that was so hilarious. When I still think about this for some reason, there was a man who was introduced to me, whatever out, I was listening to some music or whatever, and they were trying to stand in front of me with their cell phone and be like this, hey, hey, hey. And they were going like, and I'm like, and I was looking down at my phone trying to look at something, and they kept going like, hey, what, you just don't hear me? And I was like, I looked at him like, it's like, yeah, I just felt like this. It's like, get it. I'm ignoring you. I don't want to interact right now, pal. Have you ever ridden on a subway? It's kind of like that. That Queen of Wands dancing the night away with her bad, sexy ass self, carnelian stone. Could there be a more perfect queen for the carnelian stone than the Queen of Wands? And in the sacral chakra. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius season coming in real hot. And for some of you, maybe it is. Maybe you're going to be planning a vacation with this 10 of Pentacles. I mean, so this, for some of you, this could be a windfall. All right. And it could be a windfall just because of the fact that you're not pumping all this money out to all these other people. You know what I mean? Once you stop being the ATM of whoever, right? Then it's like, man, maybe I don't have to work so hard now. I know, what a concept. So easy to judge others, isn't it? Virgo, Hermit season in the solar plexus. But I mean, the things that people say to you, the way they behave, this is how they feel about you. The way these people act, that's what they think of you. And you could be like, well, I'm full of this and this and this and this and this and this. Like I'm not all this other stuff, right? But sometimes we don't know that until we see the solitude. Okay. So for some of you, you may be contemplating like what to do with this 10 of Pentacles. Okay. And even if you are kind of like an outgoing person, a Queen of Wands type, you could be like, look, I know everyone expects me to be doing this and this and this, but you may be working behind the scenes on something here. Okay. You may be putting pen to pencil, paper to pencil here and saying, I have some ideas that I need to start communicating, right? Translating this big love into something that is accessible for other people. Maybe people that are currently better with their mind than their heart. Maybe they have a closed off heart. Maybe their heart is not open. Okay. Up next, we do have the heart chakra. So we'll see what comes out there. The Two of Wands. Yeah. It's definitely no rush in making any decisions. I feel like you or this person may kind of be like, especially if somebody brings you a relationship, you might be like, take it or leave it, right? Kind of like I have things going good now. Like, what is this person going to add, or are they trying to take away, right? It's like, are they adding or are they detracting, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people are detractors, especially if you are anybody that has any common sense whatsoever and a head on your shoulders. The Four of Swords. Whoever this is, yeah, I don't think you want to talk about it. Especially if they're not coming to you now anyway. Like, I feel like a lot of you have closed the subject. You're sleeping well at night, like, you're like, kiss my grits. You know what I mean? And then you're out, like, done. Okay. Oh, I don't know why this reading is tickling me so much. Maybe it's because I felt like some of this tense energy after this full moon, and it's been kind of wild. And I've been holding back on some readings, to make sure that my energy level is appropriate, okay? To give you these messages, and it's still coming through. You know what I mean? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you could have, or this person could have a vision of you kind of giving to them, especially if you are somebody that's like come into a windfall or are expecting some kind of windfall, like a windfall that's going to like make you happy dance. You know what I mean? You'd be like, yeah, all those sweaters I just bought, I'm going to be able to pay for them, no problem. You know what I mean? Whatever. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I put some stuff on layaway. Christmas is going to be good this year. You know what I mean? Like, however it is. Okay. So if you're celebrating, this person could be coming, or this person who did not treat you well, right? They could be coming and like thinking they could just show you this little rose, like on The Bachelor, and be like, oh, remember the times? And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Come and share. They have this like shared vision in their head of this, but it's fake. What they're offering you is fake. It's not real. Okay, it's just a mirage. Okay, because the entire time what they saw was you and your light and your beauty. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to say they're completely devoid of it, but I'm not getting a good read on this person at all. Like, it's giving me incubus, succubus type. Okay. So again, if this person comes to you, you could be like, look, I don't have anything to say on the subject, right? Didn't we already go down that road? So who cares now, right? I can't think of the first words. Haven't we come to the end of the road? No, I can't hold on. Boys to Men. Now, I grew up with some good music. Okay, I already had the oldie stuff, but like some of the stuff that came out, like Boys to Men, oh man. Be like Bruno Mars, who's like, give me that Boys to Men back in the day, okay? They could even be wanting to, yeah, look at this Two of Swords. I feel like they're feeling conflicted about this, like, but they could have put you in this kind of position where it's like a lot of talk and not a lot of anything else. So you could be like, yeah, we are at the end of the road, pal. Like, you know, and I'm gonna be, you know, dancing in my new dress, you know, getting my catnip in gear here for the kitty cat and calling it a day whenever I feel like calling it a day, you know. And you're not going to be explaining that to nobody. You know? So I feel like this person, whoever this is, especially if they do communicate with you, you might end up kind of like not opening the message, leaving them on red, like you're just like, you're kind of doing this and like hoping that it goes away, because up until this point it's like, where have they been? They've not been anywhere, right, in your life. So whatever this vision that they had of you sharing something, again, it's not real, right? And a lot of you are going, because this is in the throat chakra right here. I'm very feeling this very clearly right now too, and especially how I'm speaking, and especially how I was speaking earlier in church. I have this voice that carries, you know what I mean? So when we're praying, I'm like, hey man, you know what I mean? I can hear it. But I feel like you may actually verbalize to them, this is, I don't want to speak about this anymore. You might even tell them that you don't want to, you know, see them, be approached by them, whatever the case, right? And part of that is because your heart is just not in it here. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, you have options, but is it better? Is it anything better than a 10 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands right now? Like, this is, you know, we're entering into, you know, Thanksgiving is next week. Time for us to be thankful and grateful what we're abundant in, right? That harvest, right? And we can celebrate. I mean, this is right on this is on the money with the timing of what's happening right now in our world, right? And especially around family. Okay. So for a lot of you too, you know, especially if this is the type of person that took you away from family, took you away from things that you felt were important to you. Okay. Again, you can forgive yourself and give yourself that time back. Okay. All right. Wow, this is already at a 1 hour. This went so fast, you guys. So this has been a wild channeling for me today. Thank you for joining. Please do like the video or subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll have some more videos for you soon. I don't really know what my schedule is going to be. Although I am kind of trying to keep office hours on Mondays and Tuesdays. So let that be known. And, you know, today is Monday. So, you know, that's what we got. Anyway, So yeah, if you have to, tell this person, go fish, right? Go fish, do your little happy dance. I mean, this might be one of those things where you catch it, it's just like for fun. This was also hi Tony, how are you doing? This was also mentioned today in the service about the person the service was for because they enjoyed fishing. Okay. And if you've ever fished before, you know that often when you catch a fish, that doesn't mean you keep it. Sometimes you take it off the hook and you throw it back, right? So whoever this is, again, who may not have treated you very kindly, who may have treated you poorly, you're like, okay, thanks, little fish. Now it's time for you to go back in the pond where maybe you can grow up and be a big fish one day. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that release with love. All right. And then we all move on. And then maybe the next fish you do catch is that big fish, right? Either way, it's coming to you if you don't already have this. Okay. So you may want to, check your statements, go over things, go over your receipts, make sure you're not paying especially these automatic payments and stuff. Make sure you're only paying these people one time, right? Okay. Um, you know, don't be afraid to be a warrior woman when it comes to your money. All right. Or even in your feminine energy here that is money is for, your food, your clothing, your shelter, sure, but it's also for some self-care, right? Yeah, do you need like, your regular chicken or veg or whatever you do through the week, okay, but maybe on the weekend you might decide to go out to a restaurant with a friend or family member or your, significant other if you have that going on, right? Um, yeah, to celebrate the bounty, okay? Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for today. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Sorry, this is kind of a wild and crazy reading. But yeah, that's kind of with this love is crazy thing. It's like sometimes it's just so much this that you're like, no, I'm starting to get seasickness. I want more of the cruise liner. You know what I mean? That's not gonna make me puke versus the choppy little boat, right? And the choppy little boat, you're only supposed to be on that for a short time versus the cruise liner, it's more steady because you're going further. All right. So when you're in it for the long haul, it's not going to be like this the whole time, right? It might be like this a little bit, but then it's gonna, right? Then it's gonna kind of even out a little bit, right? So it's not so much about the crazy, right? It's not about the crazy, it's more about the love and putting the love first. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty now. Bye bye. Please do manifest wisely. Until next time.